Hello，大家好，欢迎大家来到读书时间。我们今天继续读《Soft Hearts》Rett Swinson Mystery 这本书。好，我们现在开始。Chapter 11 Confrontation. Not 1 minute after Cynthia left, the front door flew open. It was Darrell, who, upon hearing my voice message about Cynthia, had called my phone. When I had not answered, he rushed to check on me in person. I was touched by his protectiveness. "You didn't have to do that," I said. "I'm so sorry I alarmed you. I got carried away with what Cynthia was telling me and forgot to even look at my phone." "It's okay, it was headed home anyway," he said, but I could tell he had been worried. We sat together in the den where I related to him my full conversation with Cynthia, including the fact that she had given me the name of her rapist, and with it, permission to share it with the police. "Can you arrest this guy and prosecute him for rape?" I asked. "It would be difficult," he said, "even though the statute of limitation written law passed by a legislative body. Law statute of limitations never runs out on rape. If she didn't report it initially, there isn't a rape kit with DNA evidence that would tie him to the crime." "Still," I said, "I think Cynthia might I think Cynthia might be ready to confront her assailant, a person who physically attacks another. Her assailant, her assailant after all these years. "I'll try to track him down," Darrell said. "Honestly, it's the only decent motive for this murder we've found. In a word." This detective seemed stunned. "Be too hard for Buffalo." Walk stiffly and noisily. Confused. Use a stump. Travel around making political speeches. Stump. Dismissed batsman by dislodging the balls with the ball while the batsman out of the crease but not running. In a word, stumped. Too hard. "What are you thinking?" I asked. "Unless this Dennis Smith pans out as the killer, I'm thinking of this as a random murder. Someone hopped up on drugs, or a devil worshipper who just wanted to kill someone on Halloween. Do you run into many Satanists in Raleigh? Detective. No, but there is proximity to the cemetery. Someone spotted dressed as a dragon or a demon, perhaps. There is a cemetery. Proximity to the cemetery. Someone spotted dressed as a dragon or a demon, perhaps. He shrugged. Otis still keeps hopping into my mind as well. I'd still like to know what he and Mom talked about the morning after the murder. Does he have an alibi? He told me he was working alone in his shop, so no alibi. It's quite a studio. I told him about my visit that morning. Deep down, you don't actually suspect Otis of murder, do you? He shrugged. His name was scribbled hurriedly. Scribbled carelessly. His name was scribbled hurriedly on a piece of paper, seriously by the victim. He was found poking around behind her house the next morning. Now, his evasive commitment or He's evasive whenever we try to ask him about it. It's at least worth nothing. You are going to meet with Wanda's daughter today, weren't you? She was too tired from her flight back to Charlotte to drive to Raleigh, so we talked by phone again. Angela said her mom had become more secluded. Secluded. Of a place not seen or visited by many people, sheltered and private. Secluded. Her mom had become more secluded in her home over the past few months. She thinks her mother had gone a little crazy, Angela's word, and that her mental health had been deteriorating long before. Deteriorating, becoming becoming progressively worse. Had been deteriorating long before the neighbors planned to spruce up a widespread coniferous tree which has interest and appearance. Spruce. Make someone or something smarter or tighter. Spruce. Plan to spruce up her yard. Even before she was forced to retire. She said Wanda refused to see a medical doctor, much less a psychotherapist. She would call her mom and try to chat, but her mom wasn't that talkative. A couple months ago, Angela just gave up coming to Raleigh at all. I nodded, knowing quite well how fraught mother-daughter relationships could be. Of a situation or course of action filled with or likely to result in something undesirable, causing or affected by anxiety or stress, follow, swarming with. How fraught mother-daughter relationships could be. Darryl continued. There was one thing Wanda would talk to her daughter about. A few weeks before her death, she really started sounding paranoid and talked about some imp trying to harass her. A small mischievous devil or spirit. I asked what an imp was, and Angela said it was a trickster sort of character. Trickster, a person who cheats or deceives people. Mythical creature who was up to no good. Said her mom was sometimes old-fashioned in how she talked. Did she connect his imp to a particular person? I remember the sign from the makeover. What about the neighborhood's elves? A supernatural creature of folk tales, typically represented as a small, delicate, elusive figure in human form with pointed ears, magical powers, and a capricious nature. Very spirit. Elves who fixed up her yard? No. The daughter just assumed that the imp was part of her mom's paranoid imagination. How sad, I said. The brain sure is a complicated organ. Speaking of, thank you for watching after Mom. Thank you for watching after mom. I don't know what she'd do without you. What I do without you. He looked at me admiringly. Was it platonic adoration? Platonic of our friendship, imitated and affectionate, but not sexual. Adoration, deep love and respect. Or was there some sexual attraction mixed in? I didn't know how to respond to his praise, and perhaps he read something troubling in my expression. How are you doing by the way? He asked. The vulnerable moment I shared at the kitchen table. Saturday night threatened to come back again in full force. I held steady. With everything going on, I think it's good for me to stay busy. Working for Swinson development was a way to avoid so much that was emotionally uncomfortable or difficult. I feel as though helping your mom and helping with this case keeps me connected. And I haven't thought of alcohol all day. I could have added. Daryl nodded. Come the weekend, I'll get a break. Come the weekend, you will get a break. Charlie and I will stay here with her. I could have told him the truth that the weekends were the hardest for me. I don't know what caused me to not to share this and so much more. A snatch of Wanda's poem tickled my memory. Tickle a light touch or prod a person or a part of the body in a way that causes mild discomfort or itching and often laughter. Tickled my memory. I couldn't tell you why this urge to hide. Daryl said tomorrow mom has her first appointment at the rehab center. Doris will take her. Maybe you can talk to mom and persuade her to behave. I'll do my best. Your best is better than most. He stood, prompting me to do the same. I thought we might kiss when he stepped toward me. But at the last second, his face turned and he provided a warm, appreciative hug instead. I tried to tell myself that the home of his mother was the last place I'd want a first kiss from a man. We tell ourselves things like that. 好，谢谢大家，我们今天先读到这里吧，那我们下次再见了，拜拜。